Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome again to our mentoring MIT recovery support group. My name is Craig, and yeah. So today we have a special article. I like to call it special because this is an area of information that I don't often cover, but I think it's very important because when we're talking about life skills, when we're talking about covering underlying issues, I think this will assist us because a lot of times a lot of stuff get unnoticed if we're not careful to revisit some of the things, some of the tools that we need to keep our operation, our healthy lifestyle in function. And so this article, I believe, is going to touch on it a little bit, but I'll let you be the judge of this. And so this article is brought to us by middlesexrecovery.com. It's an article I went online and retrieved. And today's title is Why Self-Efficacy Matters in Addiction Recovery. Why self-efficacy matters in addiction recovery. This is our MIT recovery support group, and my name is Craig, and we're going to get right into it. This article starts us off by stating, if you have substance use disorder, you tend to navigate through life at a different pace from others, facing many barriers, some of which may be self-imposed. However, overcoming substance misuse requires much more than more than urging from others. All right? When you're at your lowest, you probably can't summon up motivation to help yourself. This is where the concept of self-efficacy, a person's belief in their ability to complete a task or achieve a goal, plays a crucial role in recovery. More importantly, it can also help prevent individuals from turning to substances or relapse to cope with their problems. While some genetic and environmental factors are impossible to change, certain principles can help those most vulnerable to addiction. Strengthening self-efficacy can help those at risk, providing them with the confidence needed to change their paths and embrace recovery. That's a mouthful right there. First topic of discussion is, what is self-efficacy? Self-efficacy theory, developed by a psychologist, Albert Bandura, states that people's belief in their efficacy to influence events that affects their lives form the foundation. This article says form the foundation of their agency. Bandura says that self-efficacy is key for human inspiration, motivation, performance, accomplishments, and emotional well-being. And he quotes, I'm gonna read a quote from 1977 from Albert Bandura, and it states, unless people believe they can produce desired effects by their actions, they have little incentive to undertake activities or to persevere in the face of difficulty, right? So I'm gonna read that quote again. It says, unless people believe they can produce desired effects by their actions, they have little incentive to undertake activities or to persevere in the face of difficulty, all right? Persevere in the face of difficulty. So a lot of times we have to have the desire, we must have the motivation. You know, oftentimes when I was reading, I was thinking about people oftentimes don't change unless they have a desire to change. We don't want to change our behavior. We don't want to change our outlook on life due to a lack of desire or motivation to change. This article goes on when it talks about what is self-efficacy. Basically, self-efficacy is a personal judgment that determines how you cope with situations. Much of this depends on how you approach different challenges and opportunities, impacting everything from daily tasks to major life decisions. The theory emphasized that the level of one's self-efficacy can vary depending on previous experiences, social conditions, and emotional states, affecting how an individual might cope with the situation at hand across various aspects of life. Now, this may sound like some college information, I'm not sure, but it's very important that we allow ourselves to expand our thinking, expand our concept of learning, have an open mind, and to challenge ourselves to broaden our perspective when it comes to changing from an unhealthy state into a healthy outlook. All right. And so the next topic of discussion is, why is self-efficacy important in recovery? I'm glad you asked that question. In the realm of addiction recovery, Albert Bandura's concept of self-efficacy is particularly relevant. Individuals who believe in themselves and have the self-determination to achieve what they want are more likely to succeed in recovery. This, of course, does mean that one must recover without support. External help remains crucial. Let me read that again. This, of course, doesn't mean that one must recover without support. External help remains crucial. However, relying solely on others to reach their recovery goals can lead to setbacks. Those who combine self-reliance with support mechanisms like medication-assisted treatment and substance use counseling experience more sustainable success. So you see the two, external and internal. So you have self-reliance and you have support mechanisms, all right? And it can be from medication-assisted treatment. Those who may not know what medication-assisted treatment is, so a lot of times people who are struggling to overcome their addiction, they may not grasp the concept of totally grab hold the concept of coping mechanism from how to use the tools. They may be struggling with the urges or the cravings could be so severe that they may need some type of medicine. And so that's what it means about medication assisted treatment. If you ever heard of methadone assisted treatment, Vivitrol assisted treatment, Suboxone. And so some people, they need both, all right? And so do not stereotype people because they need that. If it helps them to achieve their goal, to overcome what they're struggling with, we are here to support them at every cost, all right? Now, it says, recognizing the role of self-efficacy when starting treatment for substance use disorder can help set goals for success. It prepares you to set more realistic expectations and to persist through the challenges of recovery. All right? Let's move right ahead. Source of self-efficacy. All right? Self-efficacy can be gained from several sources in recovery, each playing a pivotal role in keeping you motivated through your journey. Typically, belief in your own ability to overcome challenges and reach personal goals comes from your primary source or sources, plural. And so we're going to find out what are some of those sources of self-efficacy. Number one, mastery experiences. Mastery experiences. When you face a challenge and overcome it, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. Each success helps increase your self-efficacy, enforcing your belief in your own abilities to meet goals and handle difficulties. Don't that sound good? It sounds good to me, because when you believe in yourself and you know that you have the capability, and when you dig deep inside with the discipline and determination to overcome or to accomplish something, you can achieve it if you believe it. This is particularly relevant in recovery, where you set many goals and work to achieve them daily. Whether you are tackling major milestones or navigating daily tasks, they are all critical to your recovery journey. With every obstacle you overcome, confidence in your ability to maintain your progress strengthens. Whew. Powerful. Some powerful information right there. Let's move right along. So we talk number one, mastery experiences. Number two, vicarious experiences. This is good. Pay attention. Watching someone successfully accomplish goals similar to yours can be inspiring. Don't that sound good? I'm going to read it again. Watching someone successfully accomplish goals similar to yours can be inspiring. You're vicariously increasing your self-efficacy by witnessing what is possible with preservation, and determination. Engaging with individuals who have overcome obstacles in their recovery journey also gives you a source of information. People who have maintained long-term recovery offer valuable insights and guidance, making them great mentors. These mentors not only provide practical advice tailored to your situation, they introduce you to resources and strategies that you may not have known about. That's a drop of the mic line right there within itself. But we're going to keep the mic in our hand and we're going to move on. Social persuasion. Social persuasion. Feedback from your peers and loved ones can serve as a powerful source of motivation and recovery, right? Feedback is very important. That's why when we come to recovery support group, it's very important to participate, be a part of it. I like to share my experiences. I like to hear people share to get a better understanding of where I come from, where they come from, where I'm going or trying to go, and where they're going or trying to go. Things that we've accomplished and things that we're trying to achieve. Oh, it's just great. So social persuasion, this where feedback from your peers and loved ones can serve as a powerful source of motivation and recovery. Positive responses and encouragement from those you respect and trust can enhance your self-belief. All right. In recovery, social persuasion is an encouraging factor that makes group counseling sessions vital to success. Knowing that others are invested in your success provide additional motivation, strengthening your commitment to recovery. The sense of community and support means that you are not alone in this journey, right? So we just covered 3 aspects of source of self-efficacy, right? And so the first one we just went over was mastery experiences. Number two, vicarious experiences. Number three, social persuasion. And number four, emotional and physiological circumstances. Woo, emotional and physiological, right? And circumstances. All right, so it says your emotional and physiological states are important components of your overall well-being. Addiction can severely impact your overall health, making everything in life more difficult. Fortunately, comprehensive programs like medication-assisted treatment address both the chemical imbalances and the psychological challenges of addiction. Outpatient treatment allows you to take care of your mental health outside of the four walls of a facility, right? You can go about your life on your terms and discover ways to improve your wellness, while counselors provide the necessary support. Developing self-efficacy through improved health is a pivotal aspect of your recovery journey. So that's one phase of it, right? So we just talked about one aspect, or we just shared source of efficacy, right? Now we want to touch on causes of low self-efficacy. We want to get down to the root, right? We want to find out what it is that people, or why it is people have or may be struggling with their self-efficacy. The article says each individual is different, but you may find yourself struggling with one or more of these factors that can impact your self-efficacy. All right? Identifying and understanding these barriers can be the first step towards overcoming them, right? So you can't overcome something that you don't have a clue or know withal of what it is that you're struggling to overcome. So you have to be able to identify them. All right. And so let's talk about, or let's share law of that's a misprint. Let me correct that. It's not law. And voila. Save. And lack of motivation. All right. Some people struggle with low self-efficacy because of lack of motivation. Feeling unmotivated can be a common obstacle in the early stages of recovery, where the energy to begin this change in your life can seem out of reach. This can be caused by a number of things like physical withdrawal symptoms and psychological exhaustion that decreases your drive. Small, achievable goals and consistent encouragement from support groups can slowly help rebuild your motivation, allowing you to engage more fully in your recovery journey, right? And so when we talk about causes of low self-efficacy, this article lets us know lack of motivation is one of them. Another one can be lack of honesty, right? Lack of motivation and lack of honesty. Hiding your addiction issues from peers and loved ones not only isolate you from necessary support, but also hinders your journey towards recovery. The dishonesty often comes from fear of being judged and stigma linked to addiction, right? By fostering a practice of openness in secure environments like therapy and support groups, you can start to break down these barriers to create a foundation of trust and recovery, right? So not only people may be struggling with lack of motivation, people may be struggling with lack of honesty, not being forthcoming, because somebody may judge them, somebody might have an opinion that's opposite of yours. Here's another one, complacency. Okay, complacency is another one for low self-efficacy. Being complacent often means being unaware of the severeness of your addiction and the impact it has on your life. This detachment from reality can impact your motivation to seek help or recognize the needs for change. Regular feedback from those outside your environment, such as counselors or medical professionals, can provide an objective perspective that challenges this complacency. Engaging in self-reflection activities and other activities where you can learn more about the effects of substance use can also help clarify the consequences of continual addiction, encouraging proactive steps towards recovery. All right? And so do not be complacent. Do not be afraid to seek the help that's available. Just get out of your comfort zone. All right. And so one of the things of getting out of your comfort zone is being able to challenge ourselves. I think it's very important to be able to see how far you can push yourself to achieve something. When I was in college, when I was going to school, I was a full-time student. And I was working full-time. And so one of the things that I learned through that experience is that not only was I had midterm exam, I had exam, I had reports that need to be done from each chapter. Some classes from each chapter, there was a article that we had to write, or pages that report we would have to write, or be prepared for midterm, then the finals, and then on top of that, working full time. And so I will have to really push myself to be prepared on both ends of the stick. And so that means I will be burning the midnight oil. This is a saying that people my age may say, burning the midnight oil, basically meaning that whilst most people are asleep at night, I would be awake with the lamp on or with the light on, studying and preparing for schoolwork. So that means instead of getting 8 hours of sleep, I may get 4 hours of sleep and get back up and get ready to start the day. But those are the things that I had to step out of my comfort zone. I didn't want to get too complacent, sleeping 8 hours when I know I have school to do and I have work to do. All right. And so that's word to the wise on that. All right. Let's keep moving forward. Financial struggles. This is major for a lot of people. Addiction can drain your financial resources, leaving you feeling trapped and unable to afford necessary treatment or basic needs. This financial strain can cause you feelings of stress and helplessness. Talking to your recovery team about your financial struggles can provide practical pathways to recovery without the added stress. Let me read that again for all of us who may be struggling, all right, at some point in time. Talking to your recovery team about your financial struggles. Remember, we talked about it earlier, you don't have to do it alone, all right? There is support out here, all right? And so by you talking to your recovery team about your financial struggles, it can provide practical pathways to recovery without the added stress, right? And so that is something to be mindful of, because a lot of times people may be in a position, whatever it may be. You may have a job and may not, the finance may not be adding up. And so with that, sometimes we will have to cut back on some things. We have to learn how to trim down some expenses, things that we might want, just like when you have, people with children, I may want a brand new pair of shoes for myself, but I know if I have a child, and I will put the child needs before my needs. And so I may wear my shoes or the same shoes or whatever shoes I may have a little longer, if that makes sense, and make sure that the child is secure in all aspects of life. All right. So the next one, last but not least, just want to share this with you. Remember, please remember, we are talking about self-efficacy, or why self-efficacy matters in addiction recovery. Sometimes people may need to be motivated. Some people may need to really be honest. All right. Some people may have to go through the emotional and physiological substances or social persuasion, master experiences. All these things play a key role in our lives. So now we want to cover lack of communication. All right. And so lack of communication can play a major part in someone having low self-efficacy. This article reminds us, and this might be a two-pronged article because I took the time out to really place half of this, and I like to look at this article in a two-part series. And so if you ever hear me speaking on why self-efficacy matters in addiction recovery, it may be a part one. The next time you may hear me go over this article, there is a part two. I only covered part one today. All right. And so lack of communication. Communication plays a crucial role in your journey to recovery. Let me say that again, because I found myself, I don't want to toot my horn and say I'm the best communicator, and I believe I struggle in that area at times. In relationships, sometimes just to get my point across, sometimes I may be perceived in a way that someone may think I can be, my approach can be said in a different manner, or I may shut down, so there are various ways that communication or miscommunication can be misconstrued or can be constructed in a manner where that it can be perceived appropriately. All right. And so communication plays a crucial role in your journey to recovery. Often, individuals may hesitate to express their needs or struggle due to fear of being judged or rejected, right? Sometimes people shut down. Sometimes people, I don't want to say clam up, but some people, they just may shut down because for fear of being judged or rejected. This silence can impact the necessary support that is important for recovery. By encouraging open dialogue, all right? Open dialogue is exchange of communication between others, right? With trusted individuals or in counseling, can help bridge that gap between suffering in silence and receiving help. This is major. This is very key. This is very good information. If you ever watch this video, I hope that the information that was said in this article, from this article, not from what but if you learn something from me, that's fine and good. But hopefully the information that was read from this article has some validity in your coping skills. And so with that said, until the next time, please be safe. Learn how to improve on yourself. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I try to do a self-examination or make a self-assessment of myself often, because it's very key to always try to do what's right, say the right things, be helpful, be encouraging, to love. And so all of these attributes need to be displayed in a way that people can receive it appropriately. Until the next time, please let somebody know what we're doing here at Capital Recovery Center. Share the information, be inspiring, become a mentor, or if you're not a mentor, become a mentee. All right? Until then, stay safe, everybody.